we are working on our biggest level so far. 77 screens and a new ally to unlock. Watch until the end for insights into the development of our new indie game.
For those of you who don't know, Nanuka's Secret of the Shattering Moon is a colorful 2D action platformer set in a cartoony world. Our game focuses on providing a silly and lighthearted adventure with an emphasis on our vibrant handcrafted pixel art. If you like what you're seeing, we've left a link in the description that leads to our page on Steam, where you can wishlist our game to support our development and be notified on its launch.
This week we've been focusing on level 8, what we call the Snow Village. My main goal was to complete the layout using our grid system. It's our biggest level so far and consists of 77 screens. After adding the entire layout, we were able to test and adjust the flow for the level. We're very pleased with it and it's actually a lot of fun to play. After the layout, I started incorporating objects that are unique to this level. My favorites are the circling platforms and a nice spot that dives on your head. As usual, everything is being done with placeholder art. As discussed previously, we want to make sure the game is great to play, even with placeholder art. This will allow us to test and tweak the entire game before we finalize the graphics.
In this level we unlock our new ally, the Blacksmith. He's our designated heavy hitter, allowing us to smash through objects we usually can't pass through. We spent some time figuring out the right look for this ally, maintaining a clear and readable silhouette while experimenting with a more innovative design. Being a pixel art game, the biggest challenge when it came to designing characters is the fact that the smaller details will get lost in the pixels. It's an interesting limitation to work with, and I feel like we managed to come up with a very cool and fun looking character in the end. We've begun full throttle with implementing levels. Having found our rhythm, we're steadily increasing the pace and finishing more and more of the game. Working in parallel with Ali, Tom and I draw the placeholder backgrounds while he implements the grid and play area. After playtesting the first iteration, we then draw and animate the objects needed in the level. Ali then quickly adds them while we work on the tweaks and changes for this section. We managed to finish an entire level in about a week and a half now, which really gives us confidence that we can finish this game.
This week we've been focusing on level 9, also known as a swamp level. After implementing the basic layout, I started adding the objects that are unique to this section. My favorite objects to implement were the ones that require you to use the allies. One of them is a plant that transforms when you hit it with a blacksmith's hammer. Depending on the plant's state, it can either kill you or allow you to bounce on top of it. The other object that requires an ally is a strange creature with a bit of a runny nose. You need to shoot the slime from a distance using the Oni to make the slime retract, as you really don't want to touch it. If you've been following our dev dives, you know that so far we've been working with temporary placeholder art. This approach allows us to iterate quickly and only refine and polish the art and animations that will appear in the final game. However, this creates a challenge, as placeholder art doesn't make for appealing social media posts. Fortunately, we now reach a stage in development where we had several levels we're confident will make it into the final game. Over the past few weeks, we've been focusing on polishing a few key screens. These screens will serve a dual purpose. They'll act as reference for other sections within the same level, and they'll feature in an upcoming short video for social media. This video will showcase different aspects of the game, from platforming to boss fights, making it easier for viewers to understand what the game is about and hopefully to convert some views into wishlist.
For this upcoming short video, we decided to polish some cool bosses and levels. We chose to work on areas with distinct color palettes. When finishing the background, our approach is to clearly separate the play area from the different background layers. We have a sky layer that we move in code, a distant layer which displays the landscape we're in, a mid-background layer that has more detail of the fauna and buildings, and a closed background layer just behind the play area which contains important aspects of the level or gameplay that we want to show to the player. The play area needs to have high contrast so that the player knows exactly where they can and can't move. In front of the play area, we also have two foreground layers. One serves to extend the floor, which gives it a nicer feeling of depth and allows room for objects, NPCs, plants, or other world-building elements. The last foreground layer is a dark silhouette of the environment. It helps break the rectangular screen format and frame the play area nicely. While working on these backgrounds, we finally got around to implementing our own particle system too, which allows for awesome effects like snow, rain, sparkles, and more. Aside from the backgrounds, we've also had to work on the bosses. We've created some designs a while ago already, so now it was time to translate those into pixel art and animate them. Our general approach is to block out the keyframes to have an idea of what their moves will be. If we're happy with that, we proceed to add the rough in-betweens. At this stage, we can grasp the feeling of the final design and animation. Once approved, we clean up each frame by hand and add all the sparkly effects at the end. Hazards and moving objects like the fireballs are then handled by Ali in the code. On Tom's end, he designed and animated the cat boss, which is based on the Bakeneko. He did a great job at making this boss stand out with great animation. When working on the background, he expanded the canvas by 10 pixels, which allowed for more room to go crazy with screen shake. On top of that, he made sure the environment would react to the screen shake too, hand animating all the small objects in the area to rattle and shake. This small detail really sells that feeling of a powerful roar that makes the ground shake. We also worked on some objects that Nanuka interacts with, like this slimy worm thing. I think you can clearly tell you're not supposed to touch that, which is exactly what we wanted to achieve. Making it a bit more gross, dribbling with green ooze definitely doesn't make it look inviting, which clarifies that this is a hazard. Okay. For this upcoming, our general approach is to block out the NPCs, plants, no.